We all know that the talented Jacksons are Michael and Janet, as they had the most successful career in the entertainment world. But when it comes to Jermaine Jackson, he too had talent that sometimes fall under the radar. Today, we're going to go through the journey of Jermaine's career and life. So without further ado,
let's get some hands together for Jermaine Jackson.
Before we begin, if you want to see music bios or more good videos like this, hit the subscribe button. Also, I've started a Patreon account. On here you get more copyrighted material and they'll be uploaded 48 hours prior to YouTube. If you want to support or visit, link is in the description. And without further ado, on to our feature presentation. Jermaine LaWayne Jackson was born on December 11th, 1954 in Gary, Indiana. He was the fourth child amongst siblings Maureen, Rebe, Sigmund, Jackie, Toriano, Tito, Latoya, Marlon, Michael, Stephen Randall, or Randy, and Janet. His father Joseph was a steel mill crane operator, and his mother Catherine worked for Sears but spent most of her time being a stay-at-home mother. At an early age, the family got interested in music, with the boys playing with Joseph's guitar against his will. But one day, Joe discovered one of his strings being broke and disciplined Tito. After Joseph fixed the string, he ordered Tito to play in front of him. Jermaine and Jackie accompanied him with vocals. The next day, Joseph bought Tito his own guitar and formed the Jackson Brothers. Over time, younger brothers Marlon and Michael joined as well. And to balance the group's sound, Joseph brought Jermaine a bass guitar. Jermaine was the original lead singer of the group, but once Michael joined in, he was bumped down to co-lead while Michael became the main lead. The boys, now known as the Jackson 5, would perform at talent shows, malls, strip joints, and anywhere else they could perform. They would eventually land a spot on Amateur Night at the Apollo and won. In attendance were the vocal group Bobby Knight and the Vancouvers, who were signed to Motown Records. They talked to Berry Gordy to have Jackson 5 audition for the label, and after rejecting them 3 times and constant begging from everyone, Berry Gordy signed the Jackson 5 to Motown. In 1969 to 1970, the Jacksons' first 4 singles went to number 1. Those included ABC, I Want You Back, The Love You Saved, and I'll Be There. On the B side of The Love You Saved, Jermaine got an opportunity to shine on the song I Found That Girl. I think I found that girl. In 1971, his younger brother Michael launched his solo debut, Got to Be There, where he and his brothers provide background vocals. They did this to capitalize on the Jacksons' marketability. They would do the same for Jermaine. In 1972, he released his debut album, Jermaine, with background vocals from his brothers. On the album, it featured a cover of the Shep and the Limelight song, Daddy's Home. The cover would reach number 9 on the Hot 100 and land him a gold record. Daddy's home. Your dad. Throughout the Jacksons' career, Jermaine would get acquainted with Berry Gordy's daughter, Hazel. They were married in a lavish wedding in 1973. The next couple of years, the Jacksons were starting to see their success wane. Not only that, they weren't getting properly paid royalties from Motown. So the Jackson 5 decided it would be best to leave Motown and go to Epic and CBS for a bigger royalty rate and creative control. Not part of the deal was Jermaine. He opted to stay with Motown, and most media pundits state that his marriage and loyalty to the Gordy family led him to stay. What also stayed was the name Jackson 5, which Motown had owned, and to avoid a lawsuit, the boys just settled with the Jacksons, and Jermaine was replaced by younger brother, Randy. Now let's talk about Jermaine and Michael's relationship up to that point. According to Michael, he was very close to Jermaine and looked up to him. Michael got all of Jermaine's hand-me-downs, and when traveling, he and Jermaine will always room together. So when Jermaine left the Jacksons, Michael was devastated because for 11 years, he looked to his left and found Jermaine there, and now there was a void. Jermaine was also looked out as a traitor. He would still be around his brother during his exile, but when fans asked for autographs, they wouldn't ask for his, as fans thought he betrayed the family. Jermaine released a few albums for Motown with minimal to no success, but he'll still make contributions to the label. He helped discover the funk group Switch and later helped get the spin-off group The DeBarges on the label. But during the late 70s, he developed a special relationship with Stevie Wonder, whom he covered 2 songs on his 1997 Frontier album. He requested Stevie Wonder's help on his next album, and that album will be called Let's Get Serious. The title track gave Jermaine his first top 10 since Daddy's Home, going number 9 on the Hot 100 and number 1 on the R&B charts. Let's get serious. Let's Get Serious also gave Jermaine a nomination for Best Male R&B Vocal Performance at the Grammys, as that album went gold. In 1983, Motown was holding a television special to commemorate 25 years of Motown. Longtime collaborator Suzanne DePassy wanted the original Jackson 5 lineup to perform. Michael initially declined to perform, but after some begging by Berry Gordy, he agreed on the condition he gets a solo spot. The Motown 25 performance was the first time Jermaine had performed with his brothers since his departure. Jermaine would officially rejoin the Jacksons. However, Jermaine still wanted to work on a solo album after seeing the monumental success his younger brother was experiencing. He was finally ready to take control and prove to everyone that he doesn't need Berry Gordy or his brother's backing, so he signed with Arista. In 1984, Jermaine released his self-titled album, or Dynamite in some international versions. The album spawned 2 successful singles, which included Dynamite going number 15 on the Hot 100 and number 8 on the R&B charts. All night, you give me what I like. The second one was Do What You Do, which went number 13 on the Hot 100. Why don't you do what you do when you... The album also featured collabs from his brothers Michael, Randy, and Tito, and an unknown at the time, Whitney Houston, as that album was another gold seller. That same year, the Jacksons released their first album as a 6-piece called Victory. What was supposed to be a group collective turned into a showcase of every member's solo attempt. Jermaine didn't get a solo. Instead, he did a song with Jackie and Michael on the song Torture. It was the only song Jermaine recorded for the album. Even in the music videos for Torture and Body, Jermaine nor Michael appeared in the videos. Michael was busy being Michael, and Jermaine turned out he wanted to promote his solo album during that time. The group went on tour, and that's when things went left for the Jacksons. Michael would often fly alone in his private jet, while his brothers flew commercial, and there was a conflict with ticket sales, which led Michael to do all the shows for free and threatened to quit a number of times. But for Jermaine, he was happy that he got to showcase his solo work on tour. One song that was getting traction was Tell Me I'm Not Dreaming, which was a duet with brother Michael. Arista saw how well the song was received by the fans and wanted to push it as a single, but it was Epic and CBS that barred it from happening, despite Michael's approval. Had they not blocked the single, many state that Jermaine would have had a #1 hit on Billboard. But at least the song was nominated at the 1985 Grammys for Best R&B Performance by a Duo or Group with Vocals. Back with the Victory Tour, an international leg was planned, but on stage, Michael announced that this will be the final concert of the Jacksons to the surprise of everyone, including his brothers.
I'd like to say, this is our last and final tour, and I think this is our farewell tour. Y'all been wonderful. It's been a long 20 years, and we love you all.
After the Victory Tour wrapped, Jermaine thought about going on tour solo, but that idea fell through. Instead, Jermaine continued to promote his solo works. He recorded a song with Pia Zadora called When the Rain Begins to Fall. The song reached #1 in various countries despite not being a runaway success in America. And when the rain begins to fall, you ride my rainbow window. Then in 1986, he released another solo album, his 11th, called Precious Moments. It had one hit called I Think It's Love. Written by Stevie Wonder, the song reached number 16 on the Hot 100. I think it's love, darling. But his marriage with Hazel fell apart. In 1988, the couple filed for divorce after he allegedly cheated on her and had 2 kids outside of their marriage. In 1989, he released his 12th album, Don't Take It Personal. The title track went #1 on the R&B charts. Don't take it personal. Take the bitter with us. That year, Jermaine took a trip to Bahrain, talked to some local children there, and after one of them said they were Islam, he was impressed and enthused, and not long after, converted from Jehovah's Witness to the Muslim faith. In 1991, he joined LaFace Records to record his 13th album, You Said. On the album, there was a song called Word to the Bat, and it featured rising girl group TLC. The song subliminally took aim at his superstar younger brother after he failed to return his calls for 8 months. Michael called after he found out about the song. The song peaked at number 78 on the Hot 100 off the controversy alone, but the album itself wasn't successful. In 1992, A Jackson's American Dream was released. Portraying Jermaine was his son, Jermaine Jackson Jr. In 1994, Jermaine set up a TV special called The Jackson Family Honors, with the goal of the show was to donate money to random charities. The show was a disaster after Michael promised to perform, but only pulled back for a cameo appearance. The show lost more than it gained, and a lawsuit accusing fraud commenced. Fortunately, the suit ended in mistrial. Jermaine married a second time to Alejandra Loaiza, who was the ex-girlfriend of younger brother Randy. In 1997, Jermaine, alongside his brothers, were inducted to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and in 2000, he divorced with Randy's ex-girlfriend. In 2001, Michael was holding a 30th anniversary special to commemorate 30 years since Got to Be There and to build up hype for his upcoming album Invincible. Jermaine initially planned to pull out of the show, but he settled. This will be the final time the group will perform together. In the mid-2000s, Michael was facing a CM charge, and Jermaine, alongside the rest of the family, spoke out in favor of Michael. Michael was cleared of all charges against him. After the trial, Jermaine suggested that he move to Bahrain for rest and relaxation. And fun fact, since Bahrain didn't have an extradite law at the time, family planned on flying him there anyway if he was charged. In 2007, Jermaine decided to get involved in reality TV, appearing on Celebrity Big Brother UK, in which he placed second, and later on he appeared on the CMT reality show Gone Country. On June 25, 2009, Michael Jackson, the greatest entertainer of all time, passed away after going into cardiac arrest, and it will be Jermaine to announce to the public about his passing.
The legendary king of pop, Michael Jackson, passed away on Thursday, June 25th, 2009 at 2:26 p.m. It is believed he suffered cardiac arrest in his home. However, the cause of his death is unknown until results of the autopsy are known. His personal physician, who was with him at the time, attempted to resuscitate my brother. And as did the paramedics who transported him to Ronald Reagan UCLA Medical Center. Upon arriving at the hospital at approximately 1:14 p.m., a team of doctors, including emergency physicians and cardiologists, attempted to resuscitate him for a period of more than 1 hour, and they were unsuccessful.
At his funeral, Jermaine performed the Charlie Chaplin song Smile, which was Michael's favorite song. After all of this, Jermaine took part on another reality show called Jackson's A Family Dynasty. The show showcased the brothers planning for a reunion concert and eventual tour after the sudden death of Michael. In 2012, Jermaine released a cover album, I Wish You Love. In 2022, a biopic called Michael was in the works. Cast as the titular character was Jermaine's son, Jafar Jackson. The film is set to be released in 2025, and that's where Jermaine is at today. Although he did not have the same music success as his famous brother or sister, he is still one of the talented Jacksons in the family. And that concludes the story of Jermaine Jackson. Tell me what y'all think in the comments below. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.